What's up, boys? Today we're going to be doing some burning firework strong-armed. We're looking for the lead burster, trying to convert that to fire. And to mix it up a bit, we're also going to try and scale mainly the status effects. So we're looking for a lot of potency and status damage. And we're looking to mostly skip crit chance and damage, since that won't help them too much. For the axe, we definitely want the fire trail on that to go with the build. And then I guess maybe the acid trail wouldn't be too bad either. Bit of damage over time and amplify the damage from my other weapons a little bit. We definitely want the incendiary grenade as well. That will unlock both the fire and lasting upgrades for the lead burster, which will be pretty important for scaling that up. You can't find potency on the lead burster until you get the fire conversion, since it won't have any status effects by default. But we'll also probably want to take the triple grenade for it as soon as possible so that I'm not too weak early on. So it might take a bit before we can get that going. We also want some type of projectile weapon at some point, but I'll definitely take the incendiary here to get that going. Having a projectile weapon will give us fire rate for the lead burster. And we just want to cover the screen and a ton of burning projectiles with the strong arms plus 20% range. Let's go for the early coupons, I think. Let us buy a lot more throughout the run. The earlier you get those, the more valuable they are. Throwable, that's okay. Guess we may as well take it here. So yeah, we're looking to get a lot of reload speed and then cover the screen with the strong arms plus 20% range. Reload speed is great. One issue is that the axe is a decent portion of my damage right now, and reload speed is pretty bad for that, since you can't really increase the fire rate on it. Other than, of course, the ammo rig artifact, but we don't really... well, actually that is great on the lead burster actually, so I will want that at some point. I'll probably just take the incendiary here. We'll take a blue for the axe. I do want to get some overclocks for it. Yeah, you don't normally want fire rate on grenade builds, but I guess we do here. Explosion radius, that's kind of bad since we're mainly going for the lead burster. Okay, we got the acid trail. That'll start getting us a bit of status damage here and amplify the other weapons a little bit. Big pickup radius, we could use some of that. take, I guess, reload speed for it, since we're not really scaling the hits at all. I guess. Reload speed.
Satisfied. The drop pod is arriving. Get moving. It won't hang around.
Damage. Okay. We definitely want a projectile, and we want the lead burster so that we can get all the upgrades for it. So Subata would work. It's not ideal having it as the last weapon, but oh well, it'll make it a bit easier to hit. And we can get the acid conversion on that to ramp up other weapons even more. I'll take fire rate for that. Big damage. It's just not that useful. We'll take some status damage, I think. Another status damage or potency. We could use some of that on the incendiary, since that's supposed to be kind of the secondary weapon here as another fire grenade. Potency again.
Stage 1 cleared. Be sure to spend your gold and nitro before the next stage.
Reload, potency, reloads. Piercing is kind of helpful on that. Movement, damage is probably the least useful there. A bit of mining speed. Reload definitely. We'll take the explosion radius since we're not really going for base damage. Bit of mining. Do I want fire rate for that? I guess so. Big pickup, and we have a bit left over for that.
You have your objectives. Get it done, miner.
I do need to get a decent amount of gold within 6 levels so we can re-roll into the lead burster here and actually start with the main weapon leveling.
Detected. Lock up and get ready. We got a blocked landing site for a supply pod. Get it cleared out, miner.
Reload fire rate. Let's take this one into an overclock. That's actually pretty good. I like both of these. At this point, I think reducing the damage on this one would be not very helpful since we only have 3 weapons and it's one of the primary ones, so we'll go ahead and grab the acid for now and hope for the sidearm later on. Why did that magnet come so far to me? I only have 1 pickup radius, right? Multi-tool is pretty nice. We should get a decent number of tags here, and I will definitely look for the weapon box at some point. And reload's fantastic for the incendiary and the lead burster. Let's grab a bit of HP. It's usually pretty helpful for damage over time builds, especially early on. Big explosive, not very helpful for the end parts of the build. I guess we'll take the axe level here.
The scourge just lit up like a Christmas tree. We got a swarm incoming.
We need a few more mushrooms and we should have a good amount of gold for the rerolls here. It's actually going to be very hard for me to hit a hoarder at this point. Paint job or reload. We'll take that for the second weapon, I think. Have to like go on top of it and turn around. And just hope my weapons are randomly hitting it, I guess. Okay, we got the lead burster, nice. We can finally start scaling up the build. But I still can't really hurt a hoarder. Oh, we got a decent hit from the incendiary, so he's almost dead. Let's go reload for that. Just take the stat support that make it a bit better at applying the acid stacks. Big reload. I'm gonna take the magnet, I think. It's not bad this early on, and it will also remove it from the pool, making it a bit more likely to get artifacts that I want. Big crit damage, do I care about that? Might be kind of helpful right now, and it's just a green reload on that anyways. Durable damage or reloads. I don't think that works on status effects applied by them, but it does work on 3 weapons. Reload on that's quite fast already, 0.41, so that's probably the most helpful right now. Ooh, lead burster finally. Reload speed. Decent XP. Bunch of explosive stuff. Going to be pretty hard to avoid getting tags like that on the strong arm, since almost all of their weapons added are explosive as well. Potency, but we can grab some lead burster, and I need a lot of levels on that now as my final weapon. Lead burster. Big reload. Sure. Wouldn't mind some more overclocks for the second weapon here. Yeah, a lot of explosive will take the reload. I probably don't need to spend nitro on those now since we're putting levels into the incendiary and lead burster. Decent global damage is not bad. Potency there's pretty good. Don't have a ton of gold left, so I'm going to save a bit here. Fire rates,
More options.
Ooh, lifetime, I'll lock that. And then, I guess, grab some pickup and an overclock here, even though it's not ideal. Grab the triple.
Rock and stone.
We get a free gold pinata.
Get ready. We'll be with you shortly. We got too much clutter for the supply pod to land. Do something.
Fire rates or a bit of armor. Let's go here. weapon box, we did get the multi-tool. We got a plasma carbine with burning. Okay, that's not too bad. It works with fire rate and potency and status damage. That's actually above average here.
Big swarm detected. Buggerman, get ready.
Piercing. Let's try some pretty heavy burning on the carbine, actually. It won't scale with the throwable stuff, but it will work with projectile fire rate and stuff like that. Reload. Gotta go the lead burster though, I think. And we can grab the triple for that. Gotta grab the fire conversion at level 12. Then we'll finally be able to start getting potency for that. What's our reload at with all that? 76. We could grab the slowing effect at level 12 on the carbine and then convert it into a shotgun. And it actually should be pretty insane at both freezing and burning enemies then. Of course it would be better at burning on the interrogator, but then you can't really do the lead burster. Luck. Or global. I wouldn't mind getting the overclocks for everything eventually, just in case we get the turbo and cabulator artifacts. I will need to get a lot of mining speed for myself though, since we don't have any weapons that can mine for me. Let's go reload there. We have a bit of movement speed since it's a bit hard to get to the pod right now. Damage isn't ideal, but we need a lot of levels there. Reload into an overclock. We can't get the sidearm now, but this will help a lot with debuff application on it. Take a bit of HP here. Let's grab more throwable reload.
Get yourself onto that drop pod. It's about to head out. Once you know where that came from, stage 4 is waiting for you, miner.
Grab our big lifetime, some status damage. I will take a paint job for that. We didn't get the fire trail to go with that, unfortunately, but we'll take some probably weapon range. The reload speed is going to go very low with the throwable stuff I'm stacking, and the damage won't be super relevant for me. Fire rates, we are a bit light on gold, but there's 3 weapons I'm trying to get stuff for now, so I don't think I want that. We definitely want potency on that. It's a good pickup. Paint jobs are helpful for overclocks. Don't think I want those. That's fairly cheap though. I'll take a fire rate. I'm not sure about a legendary 31 nitra for just 1 level on it when we're trying to level up so many things. Probably not. Then we're pretty low now.
You have your objectives. Get it done, miner. have a swarm incoming.
Let's go for fire rate. I think will probably be the best stat for me. Reload speed you can get a ton of from the weapon box combos with the multi-tool and the turbo encabulator.
Prepare to fight for your life. The big swarm is approaching.
Lead burster, those aren't super helpful, so I guess we'll take the level here.
Prepare to fight for your life. The big swarm is approaching. Objective completed.
Paint job, I don't normally like those on the main weapon, but coming in at 4th and not getting a ton of levels right now, kind of do want to get the overclocks on it going. Let's use the Praetorians to help us finish off those rocks, and then maybe we'll be able to swing back later. Big fire rates for the lead burster. Let's turn off damage numbers, make it a bit easier to see at this point. We have a very number heavy build, and we're going to be hitting a lot as well. It's just basic damage every time. Let's go for some potency here. Let's go a bit of XP. I'll take reload over damage.
Stand clear of the impact zone.
XP scanner, piercing projectiles. This will help out 3 of my weapons, and I do like these 2 a lot, so I'm down for some piercing.
All tasks complete. Stage finished. Your pod is prepped and ready. Get on it before it leaves.
Oh, I could grab that for a little bit of a bonus. We'll go potency on that.
Excellent work, Miner. Stage complete. Onwards to stage 5.
Luck.
Not too
We're pretty light on gold, so I'm going to save a bit for now. Try and find some more useful stuff first. Cheap potency for that.
Show me more.
Decent status damage. I am not going to take a legendary damage for that. I will take a big paint job.
Like me? Let's shake it up.
I guess we're probably taking that to try and find the fire conversion.
Says it's time to kill.
And then I guess probably a big potency for that is pretty nice. I can grab the slow, so it now has dual status effects.
The
turn around so we can butt shot him with the acid. Big pickup or a pretty bad artifact. 3 levels is just not going to do anything at this point, but I might take this to make the pool a bit smaller. Pretty hard to make decent use out of it though. We'll take reload, I think. Just because we're not really scaling up the base damage hits too much.
Well done, you got more.
Very flashy so far, even with the numbers turned off. And we don't even have any of the main weapons at level 18 yet.
We can't send in supplies until you clear out Galactic.
Let's grab some decent armor. Ooh, Chemist Kit is very nice here. Divers is not bad either, but this fits the build really nicely. Big reload would finish that off, and that doubles the number of shots. Or you can shoot some in front of you as well, but I think I like having them all in the same direction. We don't have any other positional weapons, so it should be pretty easy to aim those. That'll be a lot more acid stacks from it. Decent reload, sure. And then we can probably just finish the melee guy now to make it a bit easier. Guess the dots are doing a lot of work on the ranged one as well then. Wasn't really even trying to hit him there. Fire rates, pickup, both pretty nice. I don't think we've gotten a ton of pickup, so I'm gonna grab a bit more there. Status, don't need Tsubata too much now. I do have a fair amount of gold, so global damage is pretty good. Lifetime, cheap fire rates. Lifetime, cheap reload for that. Even more lifetime, lead burster. We're almost out now, so I'll take a bit of XP.
This is a simple mining mission. Get it done, miner.
Some big pickup. I guess we will take that. We can go ahead and grab the divers now. Nice damage and reload. Crit chance is useful, even though it's not great. But the damage and reload parts are multiplicative, so those are great for us. Leave some nice fireworks for the triple shellbacks as we move past them. Got some decent damage onto one of them, but they're actually still burning for a lot. Status, sure. It's actually very easy to get a ton of shots on them with the Tsubata and the carbine when you pull them through a small tunnel like that. So all of them are almost dead already. Might have actually killed the elites too fast here. Fire damage and potency. I think status is probably better actually. That works on our acid trail, acid Tsubata, and it's a bit higher number overall. Damage. Let's just take the reload. How many paint chops has that gotten? 2. Let's try and find some more interesting stats, I think. Luck. Fire rate, definitely. We'll take some decent mining speed. We could finish that off with a cheap reload, but I think I'm gonna wait a bit on that. The level 18 doesn't even really do anything there for me.
Gonna roll the dice on this one.
Fire rate for the lead burster. I can grab a big fire rate for that. I'll take a cheap piercing. We're almost out of gold, so I think I will.
Yeah, I'm feeling lucky.
We'll take a decent HP. Do I want to lock any of these? Probably not. Well, potency is pretty cool on that. Once we get that up to level 18, I think that should be pretty insane at applying status effects.
Get it done, miner.
Is this a 0 scanner run? And we're probably too late to get decent value out of them now anyways.
Big swoon detected. Document, get ready. Swarm will take the gun. Get ready. We'll be with you shortly. Swarm detected. Get ready. We'll be with you shortly.
I just wish we had gotten the weapon box artifact a bit earlier, since then I wouldn't have had to take the Sumbata to get the projectile fire rates. Carbine's actually pretty solid here. It's freezing stuff almost instantly, and should have some decent burning damage with all the potency and status damage. Pickled Nitra for a lot of global damage. Definitely don't want the other two, so I guess we will grab that. Big explosive damage? Nope.
Well done. Objective completed. Drop pod has arrived. Get there now. It will lead to Delta.
Probably shouldn't mess around too much with the huge penalty from the pickled nitra. Big fire rate. It's not terrible. Kind of late for more XP gain now, I think.
That elite never stood a chance. We'll see to it then.
So we need just one more level on those two. We can grab the potency I locked and get the sun off, which gives it at least like 5 times as much debuff application.
Yeah, now
Let's hold a bit of gold for now.
me here. Let's try again.
Fire rate is very nice. It's also pretty expensive, but you don't often get a double ailment plasma carbine on the driller classes, so honestly I'm down for that.
It's calling. Let me try again.
Could grab some paint job to help that one out a bit.
Gorgeous gun for a gorgeous dwarf.
This is a simple mining mission. Get done, miner.
Maybe we're not gonna die after. Think you can kill me? Well, think again.
Prepare to fight for your life. Big swarm is approaching.
Talk about fit.
Big swarm detected. Lock up and get ready.
None of these are super helpful. I guess we'll take a legendary for a chance.
Can't send in supplies until you clear out the landing zone. Swarm detected. Get ready. We'll be ready shortly.
There's actually not that many good artifacts left. That would definitely be bad for me. But we also haven't had to reroll any yet. Ration's fine. That'll shore up my defenses a bit since we have pretty insane damage from the other artifacts. Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna melt the elites here. We can grab reload, but I wouldn't mind getting the levels up on that just in case we find the encapulator. Probably head to the artifact for the magnet instantly, since once they start getting directly hit, they're going to die almost instantly. Status, or we could grab damage, but that just doesn't really help the build much.
Objective completed. Excellent job. Well done. Objective completed. Drop pod has arrived. Get there now. It will leave without you.
Maybe we're just a full plasma carbine build at this point, since the upgrades on the lead burster have been pretty bad. Mostly paint jobs and basic damage, and damage again, my god.
Get yourself onto that drop pod. It's about
Just give me some potency or reload speed.
that elite never stood a chance. We'll see to it there's a beer in the house when you make it back. If you make it back.
We could finish that off with a cheap damage now. There's still a few stages left, so I don't really need to.
More options.
Potency. That would finish that one off perfectly.
Paint my nails
We can
to
get some
match
big
yours.
explosion radius for
My
it.
favorite type of Gonna roll the dice on this one.
Lifetime, reload speed,
More options.
bit of global damage.
In courses through me.
I'm gonna save that just in case we end up needing that for the last level there.
Needs to shoot and work to be done. Get to it, miner.
Although I think for a status build, the level 18s aren't very good on the lead burster. You can take the one that gives you big weapon damage but reduces the fire rate and reload speed, so that would be bad for me. Or you could take the favorite, which would debuff 4 other weapons here, all of which are pretty good for the build. So I don't think I actually want to take either of those. Pay to win? Probably not. I'm not sure if there's much left to get. Oh, energy bars is a ton of damage. We would be kind of squishy, but you only YOLO once. Big reload. Finally, we can finish that. So that would lower the burn damage since both fire rate and reload are very good, and then base weapon damage is not. That's not too bad. 30% fire rate. I could probably do that, and then if we get the encabulator, it would still be helpful. I don't like losing the fire rate on there, but I don't think either of these are super amazing for me. Potency or fire rates. How's the crit stats? 37, 238. That might be worth it, but I don't care.
Quota satisfied. The drop pod is arriving. Get moving. It won't hang around.
Luck.
This is a rare treat.
We don't have a lot of nitra, but fire rate on that's pretty solid.
Surely next time
Status
will be better.
damage. Don't really need mining speed at this point. Don't really need any of those. Movement's okay with the pickled, but I think we're okay. Lifetime. We can grab some reload for that, and then some throwable damage, I suppose.
Only one way to rouse the dreadnought. Destroying its cocoons. Kill them all, miner.
Oh, we could probably have damage numbers on for a bit since enemies are melting now with the insane damage artifact lineup I have so far. We can still grab either the turbo encabulator or the diver's manual to really round that out. Probably one of the strongest zero scanner runs I've had. global damage.
Can't drop supplies with yet. Prep the landing zone for impact. LZ ready. Supply inbound.
Ooh, ammo rig is actually pretty solid as well. These 3 weapons. Cabulator, we do have every overclock here other than the axe, so we could look for one more there. And I think with 2 different stats, this should probably end up being the best. Need to try and find one more axe level now to really max that out. Then the damage should be absolutely nuts. We have 5, 7, 9, 12 artifacts. And some extremely high damage ones as well. And he's dead. And that is all damage over time too. We have only 37, 238 crit stats, 805% global damage, 200% global reload, 220% status damage, a nice amount of luck to get us some higher rarity. That is some of the highest damage from artifacts I've ever had, I think. Stage 1 coupons to get maximum value out of those. We had the weapon box combined with the multi-tool and the turbo encabulator at the very end, so we got max damage without really suffering from the mining speed penalty. We got huge piercing for our 3 weapons over here. Got the chemist kit for all the status stuff. Oh, I actually already had that. Forgot about that. We had some big damage from the pickled nitra, big damage from the energy bars, and the plasma carbine was a solid pull from the weapon box. Got the dual status effects on that, on a status effect build that didn't naturally have freezing, so the freezing was a huge defensive boost, and it got some decent damage from the burn effect on the second overclock as well. That was a very strong build.
Strap yourself in. Come on home.
We got 1 decent artifact from the hoarder, I think, and then we got 1 kind of useless one, but it made it a little bit easier to hit all of these insane ones, so I don't really hate it. We had 11 plus whatever that would have done after converted to fire, so I can't really do the math for that. But we had probably at least 100 million burn damage. The Subata, we had about 7 million acid dots. Not really sure for the plasma carbine, but 9.8 for the base on there, plus a ton of burning added to that, and the very useful freezing effect applied there. I don't think the level 18 overclocks are super useful for a burn-based build, so that is one reason to go more for the upfront damage on the lead burster. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.